Hi Stitchy friends, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Kenzie from Mudpuppy Stitchery, and I am a cross-stitch designer, I am a bird nerd and a wildlife lover, and I enjoy doing all of the crafty things. So if you're new, welcome. I hope you like what you see, and I hope that you'll continue to follow up with me on my future videos. And for my current subscribers, thank you so very much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. Well, happy holidays, everybody. I hope you're doing well, and it is good to be back. But I've got a fun video for everyone today, and I hope you can take this time to kick back for a minute and have a nice cup of tea and enjoy some stitchy chit chat. But as a quick life update, I actually don't have too many new things, but sometimes that's actually quite nice. But overall, things have been quite busy at work and are finally starting to slow down a little bit, which I'm very thankful for. Luckily, I was able to see my family and TJ's family for Christmas Eve and for Christmas Day, and so that was really fun, and I've been enjoying some extra time off. But we've had some super mild temperatures here in Minnesota, and it honestly has felt like spring, and it is so weird. Like, we'll have a couple colder days, like in the 30s, but then it'll also get up into the 50s as well. And we've got no snow, but then lots and lots of rain. So it is so weird. Just mainly that it's been very wet and very cold. But I can handle this. I can definitely handle this. I'm not a really huge fan of the snow because it makes it difficult to get anywhere, and the ice can get really bad this time of the year. So I have that to look forward to in January and February, so I am just enjoying the no snow for now. One really interesting thing that has happened is we are starting to get quite a big murder of crows coming to our yard and bird feeders every single day. And it is so much fun to watch them, especially when I'm working from home. But the one thing you have to know is where I live, we have a mega murder of crows. And a murder of crows is basically just what a group of crows is called. So similar to like a herd of deer. So you've got a murder of crows. And so when I say mega murder, I'm talking thousands and thousands of crows that live in this area. And when you drive around in the evening sometimes, you can see several hundred of them just roosting together in a couple trees, and it's super bizarre. It almost looks like it's out of a Hitchcock movie, and it is so cool. So if you're new here, hi, hello, I am a huge bird nerd, and I used to work with permanently injured birds and other animals for several years earlier in my career. So I absolutely love having bird feeders up right outside my window where I'm working from home, and I can watch who comes by. So if we're feeding little birds to help them get through the winter, why not feed the larger birds? So we actually started putting out feed that's much more catered to crows, like dried mealworms and shelled peanuts and like a general mix of corn and seed and sometimes some fruit. And oh my goodness, they absolutely love it, and they clear it out every single day. So we have a small murder of around 15 to 20 crows that visits each day, and they have started to recognize myself and TJ. And so as soon as we put the food out and we walk away, they start swooping in. I'm hoping after a little while they'll start leaving us little gifts, as crows are known to do. And I've heard of crows leaving, shiny rocks or little wrappers, or I've even heard of someone who had lost their camera lens cover out on a walk, and the local crows had brought it back to their house. So who knows? I'll definitely keep you updated on my little neighborhood crow gang as the time goes on. Right now is usually when I share my Wildlife Minute, where we talk about wildlife, biology, animals, and anything that strikes my fancy. But we'll save that for a little bit later in the video to help break up the WIP parade, because I am sure you are super eager to see all of the stitching. So let's jump right in and start my 2023 WIP parade. First of all, I wanted to show you a newly fully finished piece, And this is Reindeer and Friends by Nerdan Kanber. And this is actually a freebie that you can go download right now, and I'll make sure to list that down below in the show notes. But this was stitched on 18 count fern by My Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy, and I just used whatever extra DMCs that I had for the most part. And I think it turned out super cute. And I was able to back it with a really fun festive fabric and trim it with some really pretty matching DMC cording that I made using my Krynic custom quarter. So a very fun little stitch, and I really enjoyed getting that done. To start out my WIP parade, I wanted to show you one that I have been working on recently, and it is called Moggy Manor by the Blue Flower. And I have been itching to get back to this one, and I've been working on it for the past week and a half or so. So this is what it's gonna be looking like once it's finished. Kinda, sorta. So instead of cats, I really wanted to use it as a memorial piece for dogs in my life that have passed away. And so I am changing the cats to look like dogs that have been in my family. So as you can see here on my piece, I've got Heidi on my left and Zoe on my right, and the bottom words will be changed to "All dogs go to heaven." So I am so eager to keep working on this piece, and I am enjoying it so much. But this is being stitched on 18 count old gold by My Vintage Needle Arts, and this was started in April of this year. So that is Moggy Manor by the Blue Flower. This next one I'd like to show you is another one that I am itching to get back to, and it is Luna Moth 2 by Happy Little Mouse. And this is what it's gonna look like. But this is being stitched on an 18 count navy Aida, and I absolutely love how these colors are popping off of this fabric. There are a lot of color changes on this one, and I actually need to rip out the middle of the leaves on the upper portion just because I used the wrong colors and I think it sticks out pretty badly, but I haven't done that yet. Usually I am in the camp of go forward and fudge it, just because for the most part people are not gonna know. But this kind of bugs me, so I'll probably spend some time unpicking and restitching that little portion there. So Luna Moth 2 by Happy Little Mouse on Etsy, and this was started in March of this year. All right, next WIP is one that I just need to sit down and finish, and this is The Raccoon by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I have the hardest part finished. I just need to go and do the rest of it. But this is being stitched on an 18 count verdigris by My Vintage Needle Arts, and he is turning out so pretty. But I just love Cottage Garden Samplings, and I am so inspired by their designs. But I had finished the fox a little bit earlier in the year, and he's actually going to be a similar finish to that with the live edge wood, and I think they're going to look really spectacular together. So I started the raccoon in February of this year. My next WIP is from the Prairie Schooler, and this one is called Prairie Birds. And I have always loved this piece, and I'm actually almost halfway done. But this is being stitched on 18 count evergreen by Fiber on a Whim, and it is looking just stunning. But I am making it a long skinny piece with 5 on top and 5 on bottom, and I'm loving how it's turning out. But this is actually a stitch along with my good friend Gwen, and we're using the hashtag on Instagram, Prairie Schooler Friends Sal. So if you have a Prairie Schooler that you're working on, please feel free to use the hashtag and to post what you're working on. but this was started in August of this year and I cannot wait to get back to it. As an intermission between WIPs, I would like to share with you today's Wildlife Minute. Now, you'll learn something new and hopefully it will encourage you to take a deeper dive into the wonders of the natural world. But if you're not interested and want to skip to the crafty stuff, you can fast forward to this time point. Hi everyone, Wildlife Kenzie here. So since it is the holiday season, I wanted to feature a bird that you've probably seen a lot of on every single greeting card, kitchen towel, wrapping paper, and any type of festive holiday decor, and that is the northern cardinal. Now, these birds are easily recognizable, and they're often used in cross-stitch patterns. So for example, Prairie School or Prairie Birds. We've got Cardinal Kin by Plum Street Samplers, Seasonal Etchings by Heart and Hand, and you can't forget Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais, and many, many more. Because of their bright red plumage, they tend to stick out like a sore thumb in a white winter wonderland, and they are loved by many, many people. So northern cardinals actually don't migrate, and so we are lucky enough to see them all year round. And many people actually feel a very special connection to cardinals because it's often said that when cardinals appear, angels are near, and that holds a lot of meaning to many different people. The male and the female cardinals have slightly different plumage, with the males being bright red and the females a combination of a light golden brown and red. They are actually able to control the feathers on top of their head, and that's called a crest, and they will raise those feathers and lower them depending on the situation that they're in. So I like to lovingly call them coneheads. But like I used to say when I used to teach in environmental education, I would much rather be bit by an eagle than be bit by a northern cardinal, because they use their beaks to break through tough seeds and nuts and actually have a much stronger bite strength than any raptor. So quite an interesting fact there. So I hope the next time that you see a northern cardinal, it brings a smile to your face and brings you hope in these cold winter months. All right, let's get back to the WIP parade. The second to last WIP is October 31st by Cottage Garden Samplings, and he is being stitched on an 18 count cornflower by Fiber on a Whim. And this piece was started in October with another Flosstuber, Lori of Mischievous Stitches, and we have been using the hashtag October31stsale on Instagram. And I'm going to be taking the October 31st out just because pumpkins and crows deserve to be displayed all year round. But I love how he is turning out, and I am so glad I was able to get the outlines in at least. He is a lot of solid stitching, but I'm really excited to see how he turns out. So this was started in October of this year. And last but certainly not least is a free chart by Owl Forest Embroidery, and it is called 100 Owls. And this is the biggest piece that I've ever worked on, and I am determined to finish it in 2024. But this is actually my oldest WIP, started in August of 2021, and I'm loving how it's turning out. But unfortunately, it's been languishing for a long, long time, and it needs to be framed, and it needs to be on my wall within the next year. No excuses. So this is being stitched with all DMC colors, and the fabric is an 18 count moss by My Vintage Needle Arts. And I definitely encourage you to download this free pattern and get started on it, and it will be linked down below in the show notes. And that concludes all of my WIPs. So not a huge amount, which I like, but there's definitely room for some strategic new starts in 2024. But another thing that I have been working on and wanted to show you is what I am calling my favorite colors blanket that I started earlier this month. And I was extremely inspired by Shiloh of X-Stitch MD and her idea to keep making a granny square bigger and bigger and bigger until it's blanket sized. And I was really inspired to do a 9-block blanket that will easily fit a queen size bed. So I've been loving this because I'm changing colors all the time, and it's really scrappy, and it is so soft and squishy, and it's very mindless to do. I can definitely see myself always having one of these going at all times, just because it's a really nice break when your brain is too tired for cross stitch. But here are a couple blocks. So here's the first one. Here is the second one. Here is the third one. And we've got the fourth one. But as you can see, I have 4 out of 9 complete, and I just recently bought the outside mortar yarn color to attach them all together, which is like a really nice primitive textured ivory yarn, which I really like. But I am using a 6mm hook, and most of these yarns are Line brand Heartland yarns from Joann's, and I just love the rustic texture and the feel of them. They are just so soft and cozy. But I'm going to keep working on this, and I will keep you updated on my progress. A couple last things before I head out. I did want to give a huge shout out to my friend Patty, who sent me a lovely sparkly Christmas card with penguins all over it, and I really appreciate your thoughtfulness so very much. So thank you so much, Patty. I did want to show you a recent purchase, which is Whale Fields by Mama Witch Cross Stitch on Etsy. And the printer absolutely butchered the colors, but it is such a beautiful design, and I cannot wait to get this started. But speaking of new things, I did want to show you some Christmas haul that I was gifted. So my lovely sister bought me a fat quarter of 18 count Fiber on a Whim pistachio, which has fast become one of my all-time favorite colors. But it is this stunning mottled greeny blue, and I love it so very much. So very glad to have another piece of this in my collection. I was also gifted some wonderful patterns from my parents and TJ's parents off of my Christmas list, and I love these. So the first one is Strawberry Harvest by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I have always loved this one for a really long time, and I'm so pleased to finally have it in my collection. And then the next one is From Nature to My Needle by The Blue Flower. And you guys know how much I love Janine McGowan and her designs. Just so very pretty and so sweet. And then the last one, this was a chart that I just recently saw on somebody's Flosstube, and I had never seen it before, and so I immediately put it in my must-buy list. And this was the Drawn Thread Those Who Sing. So pretty. So I am so thankful that I was gifted these beautiful patterns, and I cannot wait to get them started. All right, 2024 plans. So my plans are that I don't have many plans, and I am very okay with that. I really want to have the freedom to do new starts on a whim and not keep my stitching life too structured, but there are a few goals that I want to complete. A for sure new start that's coming soon is a stitch along with Mama Loves You GB here on Flosstube, and that is stitching 6 Pinkern pumpkin houses. And the hashtag is going to be PNP 6 Houses 2024 Sal. And I'm not entirely sure when it's officially starting, except sometime early in 2024. The 6 houses that I have chosen to stitch are going to be Katie Ann's Salt Box, the U House, Strawberry Salt Box, Spring Green Salt Box, Pumpkin Blossom Inn, and Ophelia Manor. So those should be really, really fun. And I'm also really planning on creating and releasing a lot more charts consistently for my Etsy page over the next year, because I have so many ideas and I'm making some serious changes in my life to have more time and more energy to design beautiful patterns for you to stitch. So I'm really excited to see where this year takes me, and I'm also extremely excited to share it with you guys. So thank you for all of this wonderful support in my first year of my Flosstube channel. I really appreciate your kindness and your patience more than you know. Alright, Stitchy friends, that is all that I have for you today. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like the video, comment down below, check out my Etsy page, which will also be linked, and please follow me at Mudpuppy Stitchery on Instagram to keep an eye on what I'm doing in between videos. So I appreciate you so very much, and I hope to see you in about a month. So take care. Do some bird watching and stitch all of the things. Bye!